It being the holidays and all, and we talk about games, usually that means there is a bunch of sales going on. And one of them is, of course, the Steam Winter Sale. And we thought what would be a good idea is to steer you guys into the right direction on where to spend your now earned money from what you got in the holidays. So, Zero, why don't you start? What do you think are some good deals on the Steam Winter Sale?
Grand Blue Versus is a great one if you want a fighting game with some cool anime aesthetics. The only downside is the online net play is terrible because they haven't updated it to rollback. But unfortunately, that's due to Cygames not wanting to put in the extra money for Arc System Works to give the game some rollback. The base game itself is $8, but if you want the Legendary Edition, which has all the season passes up to current, it's 35% off for a price of $32.99, which is a really freaking good deal.
That is a good deal. You have this on PC?
PS5 actually.
Okay. All right. I know that the PS4 version was was put on the PS Plus for 1 month, so I think I might have that. But that is a decent deal, even if you don't want the DLC. $8 for what I've heard is actually a pretty good fighting game is not a bad deal. I would think. I think the one game right now that I would choose is Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. It usually is $40. It's on sale for $18. This is a really good game. I'm surprised it's that cheap because a lot of the Nihon Falcom games don't really drop in price that far. And this one, they dropped 55% off. I think 9 is still pretty pricey. 9 is still $42, but 8 was actually really good. Story is fun, but it's the combat that I thought was really good in this. So if you like that type of game, I would say Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana for 18 is a very good deal.
Another fighting game that's a little bit more on the Indian niche side that I would probably recommend for anyone who was a big fan of Psychic Force on the original PlayStation is Senko no Ronde 2. It is a whopping 75% off, so for $10 for the game. And then if you want the complete bundle that has all the DLC, I think it's just a grand total of $13, and you get the DLC. The DLC is just literally two pieces. One of them is for a character called Rounder Vulcan, and then the other character is a virtual on suit. So, yeah, just if you kind of like something that's like Psychic Force, that's like a mix of bullet hell meets a fighting game, then yeah, $13 for the entire collection is a really good deal.
Yes, Senko no Ronde is it was released on the 360 as Wartech, if I recall correctly. Am I right on that?
Oh, it's been
Okay.
years. I would have to double check myself.
Okay, but these are really, again, it's a strange fighting game, but it's actually, you're right, it's actually a very fun game. I would definitely recommend it. Another RPG of sorts. I have this on the Switch, but I can easily recommend this on PC, and it's Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. Monster Hunter Rise, the base game is $20, but with Sunbreak, it's $39.89. From a price of $69.99 usually. If you are a fan of Monster Hunter World, I'm going to guess you might have already bought it. But if you haven't at this point, I think now is the time to do that. And I think they're still updating the game as we speak. So Monster Hunter Rise is definitely something that I would recommend picking up.
For anyone who's been waiting for a sale for Elden Ring, it's on sale now. And since it's a FromSoft game, there's typically not sales on it very often. It's on sale for $42, so if you've been hemming and hawing and waiting for it to go on sale, now's the time to buy.
You played Darktide and you talked about last week, and yeah. I want to just point out that if you want a game, if you saw that game and you were interested in it, but you heard that the the net play and the issues are still there, and you want to wait, if you haven't gotten this yet, Vermintide 2 is $6. With all of the DLC, it's $44.70. But if you just want the base game to play, it's $6. I can say as well as you can that Vermintide 2 is a lot of fun. It is I would say a more melee-focused Left 4 Dead with some RPG mechanics is what I would call it at this point. But yeah, if you saw Dark Tide and you said that looks interesting, but you heard the technical problems and you didn't buy it, I'd say give Vermintide 2 a shot.
For anyone who is a big Resident Evil fan and hasn't played Village, Village Gold Edition is on sale for $40, which is 20% off of the normal price of $50. Yeah, it includes the base game, almost all of the DLC from the launch of the game, and then also it includes the Winters expansion, which also adds the third-person camera mode and some of the other stuff. But yeah, that's an excellent deal at $40. And I say this as a person who bought a hard copy of Village on my Xbox Series X, and then I paid full price for both the Trauma Pack DLC and then also the Winters expansion DLC as well too.
Okay, nice. I guess my final recommendation, if you were interested in Pokemon or you got Pokemon and you're disappointed by it and you really want to scratch that Pokemon itch, I originally would have said Temtem, but I fell off of that pretty quick. But what I really got into is this Pokemon / Metroidvania game called Monster Sanctuary. I played it for the podcast, for video on the podcast about a month or two ago, and had a blast playing it. It's $7 right now on sale. It's usually $20. But if that blend of gameplay interests you, I would say pick this up right away. It's a lot of fun. And the combat in the game is also really good as well. And the leveling is very rewarding. So I'd say for $7, Monster Sanctuary, I think is a great deal.
It isn't on sale for a major discount, but I think it's worth mentioning mostly because it is a very, very solid game. Ask Libra Revision, it is on sale for just 10% off, but it's priced at $22.49. It is an indie Japanese game that it feels like Final Fantasy 1 mixed with like a combo-focused action RPG for the combat systems and mechanics. And I believe the developer worked on it by himself for nearly 15 years. But the game just feels so mechanically good and solid. Yeah, there's some kind of esoteric puzzle solving that you kind of have to figure out yourself, or jump to a Japanese wiki and use Google Translate on it. But overall, I think it's a great game if you're kind of into sort of like an old-fashioned feeling action RPG. Oh. So yeah, just $22.49. It's not break the bank expensive, but I think it's something to look into. Also, honorable mention, because one of my close friends just gifted me a copy of this tonight. If you're into big, major space simulation sorts of games and just like the idea of politics, trading, and intergalactic piracy, the X4 collection with all of the current DLC is $40.
Yeah, it might be a little above my, I guess, mental pay grade, I guess to call it, but it's definitely, from what I watched him play it, it looks really interesting. And I guess one thing that I could point out too, if you're into 4X games, because isn't that considered a 4X game or not?
Yeah, I would believe so.
Okay. Stellaris. You can get Stellaris either the basic edition for $10 or the Galaxy edition. I'm not sure what that entails, but that's $13. And then if you want all the DLC, because there's a lot of DLC for this game, they added on a bunch. They have a starter pack for $35.95, and then all the DLC for I would say a beefy sum. I got a bunch of the DLC already, so I'm not going to have the right price on there, but it usually runs for about $135. But yeah, if you want 4X games, Stellaris is actually a really good game. So yeah, a lot of big sales and big discounts that are on the Steam sale. I would also recommend that if there's something that you wanted to get on sale but is not on sale, or you don't like the price, check sites like Fanatical and Humble Bundle, and often they will have the prices a little bit cheaper, but be wary, because once you buy it and you put it on Steam, you can't refund it. So I would recommend that if you are interested in something and you're not quite sure about it, maybe buy it on Steam, refund it, and then buy it on one of those other sites. Don't tell them I said so, but, that's an option. But yeah, lots of good games to look over and to get in the Steam sale. Thank you for listening to this podcast segment. The Capital Games Podcast is done every week, and we post it on all your favorite podcast apps, as well as segments on YouTube. If you want to listen to another segment, you can listen to a new one right there on the screen. We also do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. If you'd like, you can go ahead and click on that and see all the movies that we have reviewed from that point. Thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.